What's going on, guys? If you're wondering why there's blue feet behind me, it's because I'm in the future. But today's video is from Brazil, and in Brazil we went out shooting some pictures. And Brazil has a pretty bad reputation for being unsafe. A place that robberies happen, where hijackings happen, and where people occasionally get camera gear stolen. So on today's episode, I kind of wanted to walk you through how to stay safe traveling with camera gear. We're gonna head out to Olinda with a friend of mine, check things out, and I'll explain. We caught a ride to Olinda, but we had to get to Recife first. And we took an Uber to get here. And that's one of my tips for staying safe when traveling with camera gear, just safe with travel in general, is to take these apps, these taxi apps. And yes, there's a myth that they're somehow unsafe, but they're not. In fact, in countries like Brazil, sometimes taking a taxi is the most unsafe thing. They can take you on rides, they can hold you up, and you have no record of who they are and or anything like that. When you get an Uber or a Lyft or 99 or Taxi Now or any app or anything like that, there's a record of what taxi you were in, who the driver was, the time you were in there. So even if like something serious doesn't happen, but you just forget something, you can contact them. So yeah, use those apps like Uber. We have made it to Recife. We're with our buddy Lucas, who's a local guide. He's not a local guide, he's a local doctor, and he's a friend of ours, a local photographer, and we're going to explore a little bit around sunset. Not really taking pictures. I feel like I kind of need to get back in the swing of things. It's been a while since I've been out taking pictures, but it's nice to just be wandering around. And I want to talk again about one of these safety things. One of the things about travel and just life in general is that you can never be sure you're not going to get robbed or something's going to happen to you. Whether you're in the UK, the US, Canada, or Brazil, there's always a little bit of risk, obviously, but what you can do is limit your risk. So one of the ways I limit my risk is I try to only go out with the things that I think I'm gonna need that day. So today I have my camera bag, I have my tripod, but I only brought two lenses. I have my 35 and my 50mm lens. In my wallet, I didn't bring any of my credit cards or any of my debit cards or my driver's license or my passport. I left all that stuff at home. So if I did get robbed, the guy would go, "Give me your money and your camera," and I'd give him my camera and my wallet, and then I'd go back and I'd still have most of my stuff. And so yeah, you gotta kind of limit your risk, and that's one of the ways you can do it.
Unless someone breaks into your hotel room while you're out.
Yeah, unless somebody breaks into your hotel. Yeah, thanks, Jody. So in all my years as a travel photographer, I've never been robbed. I did get robbed of camera gear before I was a travel photographer when I was being super careless. And I think the next tip is just to be really confident. Act like a pro, be a pro. I don't think people rob professionals or people that look confident and look like pros because they look like they know what they're doing, and they look maybe like they know how to protect themselves, and potentially they look like their gear is protected and traceable. And I don't think people want to put themselves at that risk. So when you're out taking pictures, when you're out with your big gear, just be confident, act like you belong there, and I don't think people will mess with you. Olinda's been really nice. It's been really good to wander around even if we haven't really been shooting a whole lot of pictures. I won't say it's gotten safer because I don't know, but it definitely feels safer in Olinda than the first time I was here, which would have been like 8 years ago. I was also here 4 years ago. Yeah, it definitely feels safer now than it used to. I'll give you the next tip, and the next tip is to have a local, or at least trust local advice. Locals are always super protective of tourists. So sometimes they're even overprotective of tourists. They'll lie to you and tell you not to go somewhere that's kind of somewhat sketchy or so-so when it's probably fine. So ask a local. We're lucky to have my buddy Lucas, who we nicknamed Lucas Snacks because he's always got snacks. But Lucas is an awesome photographer. Check his work out on Instagram, and a massive thanks to Lucas for showing us around. Now, I think we're gonna keep exploring a little bit. Have you ever come to Brazil? Olinda is street photography paradise, even if I'm not taking pictures. I actually sold an image from Olinda from the last time I was here. That was a street photo and wasn't even that good of a one. But yeah, it's such a cool place to go out and shoot street photos. I want to give you another tip, and that tip is just to be smart and be vigilant. If you're out in public, most crimes are crime of opportunity. There are people that are kind of like living the street life, seeing somebody being careless, and just grabbing their bag. So you just gotta be smart. There are a bunch of scams for taking bags, like people spill coffee on you and then you hand your bag to their friend as you clean yourself off. They run off your bag. There's one that terrible one that they used to do in keto, where a lady would show up with a doll. She would throw the doll at somebody, and then they would drop their purse, and then they would pick up the purse and run away, and then it would be a doll, but you would have thought it was a baby. So there are things like that, but the vast majority of things that happen are actually crimes of opportunity. People seeing a bag left just casually on the side, or a camera left under their feet, or people just not paying attention. When I'm out, I'm always vigilant. I know who's around me, what's going on around me, who's looking shady, and what I need to look out for. So just be smart. I mean, it sounds simple, but yeah, you just gotta be smart. So that was a fun day in Olinda. I had a massively awesome time with my buddy Lucas. It was really good to have him show us around. I've been there a couple times, but it's always good to have a local show you kind of the quirks that only locals know. So awesome time. And I kind of want to end this video with two things. First of all, if you're trying to be a professional photographer, you can't live your life in fear of getting robbed. You need to take pictures, you need to take your camera gear out. When I started my career the first year, I didn't have money. All I had was my camera, and if I lost it, I would have been in trouble. If I got robbed, I wouldn't have really had a whole lot of sources of income to replace it. So I get that people are super protective of their cameras. But the amount of photos I missed in my first year as a travel photographer because I was scared was a lot. You can't be scared to get robbed. You can't be scared to get your camera gear dirty. You have to go out and work. That doesn't mean to be reckless. It just means you can't be scared. So get out there and take pictures. Don't put yourself in risk unnecessarily, but get out there and take pictures. And secondly, the Ecuador series is about to start. I'm already here. That's why there's blue-footed booby pictures in the background. I'm on a boat. And starting with the next episode, it'll be myself along with Jody and Morton Hilmer. We're doing wildlife photography in the Amazon. We're doing wildlife photography here on the Galapagos Islands. I'll probably work in some landscape photography as well. And it should be a lot of fun. I think this Ecuador series, yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.